And December is here. That marks the end of hurricane season. Meteorologist Max Tsaparis has a breakdown, plus the revolutionary abilities of AI in predicting these storms as well. Max.
The 2025 hurricane season is ending, and it was certainly a strange but memorable one. This despite the fact that the number of tropical systems was actually slightly below normal, coming in at 13. 5 of those turning into hurricanes, also slightly below normal. But we did see more major hurricanes than average, with Aaron, Umberto, and of course Melissa intensifying into the strongest storms possible, Category 5s. And this is just the second time we've seen 3 Cat 5s in a single year, with only the devastating 2005 season having more, with 4 hurricanes that strong. And though we saw Tropical Storm Chantal make landfall in the Carolinas this July, this season will also be remembered as the first year in a decade no hurricane struck the U.S. or even developed in the Gulf. On average, this should happen every 4 or 5 years, so we were overdue for a break. However, the Southeast did have a couple of close calls, with Aaron grazing the Outer Banks of North Carolina and Imelda turning offshore last minute as it interacted with nearby Hurricane Umberto in a rare dance called the Fujiwara effect. But the season will be most remembered for Major Hurricane Melissa, which devastated western Jamaica at the end of October, tied for the strongest hurricane on record to ever make landfall anywhere in the Atlantic, with peak winds of 185 miles per hour. But new data shows the winds could have actually been stronger, with a 252 mile per hour wind gust found just over 1/10 of a mile above the Caribbean Sea, the highest wind ever reported by the Hurricane Aircraft Reconnaissance. Federal meteorologists will analyze all additional data that may not have been available when the storm struck, and will make their final determination of top winds in the coming months. Another big takeaway, how impressive new AI computer model forecasts were in predicting the tracks and intensities of this year's hurricanes. This was the first season these models were used, and specifically Google's DeepMind model was a front runner in accuracy, even compared to traditional top-end computer models. Rather than crunching complex math equations, the new AI models focus on pattern recognition, using historical hurricane data to predict the future, a technique that many meteorologists, myself included, were skeptical about. But seeing is believing, and late in the season, the Hurricane Center routinely deferred to Google's AI model when outputting forecasts. So despite the overall numbers falling short of an average season, it also came with several firsts, including the strongest hurricane in the Atlantic to ever make landfall, and a new chapter in forecasting, with AI computer models hopefully leading the way in even more accurate predictions in the years ahead.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.